So let's take a look at the JavaScript object.assign. What is JavaScript object.assign is used for? Object.assign comes in ES6, and what does it use for? If I make it easier, object.assign is used to merge two objects. So what I mean by that, let me declare a conceal color person and assign it to an object. In this object we have the first name, which its first name is Dean, and it also have the last name, and its last name is Harry, for example. Now I'm gonna come here and declare another object, call it employee, and in this employee we want to assign just the number of the employee. So here I say number and assign it to a number like this. I put it in the quotation because you know that the numbers have 0. If I don't pass this quotation around the number, it will return me an error because of 0. So now we wanted to merge the employee to the person. So how can I do that? But before we see that, let's take a look at the object.assign syntax. First of all, put the object. After this, refer to the assign method, and after that, open up the brackets, parentheses actually, sorry, and inside this, pass the target. What is the target? You can tell that the target is the parent object that you wanted to merge other objects. So after this, we have sources. So what is this source? Actually, this is S. This source is the employee, the objects that you wanted to add to the parent's object. So we can have multiple sources here, like this. So in this case, I delete this and put dot dot dot, and let's implement it. I declare a variable, call it our EMP, which is stand for employee. Now we want to call the object, and after the object we want to refer or point out to the assign. Then we're gonna pass the target, which our target is here, the person object. So here I came and passed the person here, and after that we're gonna pass the sources that you want to add to this object. So here I pass the employee. Now we have merged the employee to the person. Now if you didn't believe, let me console.log it and pass the our EMP here, and save it in the console. You see that we have this object which has the first name and last name, and we also have one more property which is not from the person object, but here we have it. And when we have it, you can access it like other normal property in other objects. So for example, we want to access the number from here. Now if I save it in a console, you see that we have this number here. So I told you about that we can add multiple objects in other objects. So I'm going to declare another object, call it obj, and assign it to some object. For example, we want to say name. Just understand this as an example. I know that it doesn't have the logical mean. So for example, here I pass the rain. Now I'm gonna pass the object here in obj. Now save it in the console. We get still this because we refer to the number. And if I save it now in the console, we get first name, last name, number, and also name, which came from this object. Let's delete this and see more example. What if I have a method in an object? Does it work the same? Yes. So let me declare a method here, call it full name, and we're gonna call a function here. In this function we're gonna return the first name and concatenate it with a space in the last name. Save it. And now what is this problem? Obj is not defined, so actually we have to refer to this property that we access from the person. So we're going to use the this keyword. If you didn't watch, if you didn't know about the this keyword, I have created a tutorial about the this keyword in this series of ES6 tutorial. You can go ahead and watch it. We're going to point out to the last name. Now if I save it in the console, we still get error. Object is not defined. So here we have this object that we didn't declare that. Now if I save it in the console, we get this. And we have this method here. So can I use this method? Yes, of course. Just point out to that. For example, here I want to point out to the full name. Now if I save it in the console, we have Jane Harry. So when you declare this object.assign, you don't have to store it in a variable. You can just do it like this. And now if you wanted to get all the objects, property, and methods, you simply can say console.log. Actually, I write the console.log, right? So, and we're gonna pass the person. And now if I save it in the console, we still have the same. So this was from the object.assign tutorial, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye.